Yeah, what up, Uncle
Yeah.
Ace?
What's up, D? Oh, easy breezy,
Golly,
Dennis McKeezy in the house. First of all, let me just
my
say,
man.
man, the graphics and all that looking great, man. Come on, man. OSG in the building, man. It's heavy, B. Heavy,
OSG in the
heavy,
building for real, man.
heavy.
Listen, yo, Lays, I don't know about you, bruh. I don't know
Uh-huh.
about you, man. It's been one heck of a week, man. Being able to spend so much time with my OSG fam, man, it's just like one, it's extremely energizing while at the same time it's draining because you're like, wow, to be around that kind of energy all day, every day for a week straight, man, it will definitely take its toll, man. But I have no complaints whatsoever, man. And one of
You built for
but
D.
late one
You built for it.
I appreciate that. And one of the persons that we spend a lot of time with this week, I want to bring her in right now. I want us to bring in our sister, the Avenger. Come on in here, April Leon,
Hi,
the
April
Avenger
Young,
herself.
the
There she
Avengers.
is. The Avengers in the
Yeah.
house.
What's up?
What's up? What's up?
Got your grill knuckle
Yeah.
up, April. What's
So,
up?
oh man, listen. Ladies, one of the main reasons why I'm exhausted this week is because I've been fighting the Avenger all week long, man.
Y'all been
It's
going
like,
at it.
yeah,
Y'all been going
all
at it,
week
D.
long, man.
And,
Yo,
and I've been doing the Don King. I've been like, I've been doing the let's get ready to rumble.
what's up, April? What's going on, April?
What's up, D? How are you?
How was your week?
You know what? It was good. It was great. I had the amazing Dennis McKeezy in my space. I had no other than
That's
Uncle Ways up in his. How could it get any better? Had Dame
no
Dash
doubt.
blessing my students.
Shout to Dame.
Can't
Yeah,
get
yeah,
any
yeah.
better.
We was chilling this week, man. It was a beautiful week, man. I gotta tell you something, man. Like just to see all the activity, the angst, the energy, the progress, because there's so much happening, so much going on. We'd have to do a 2-hour show just to talk about what's going on during the week. We can't even squeeze it in there. You know what I'm saying? So,
No.
like, yo, April, you killing them out
Wow.
there in Coney Island right now. Brooklyn, stand up. I know you're doing your thing out there. Sis.
No, it was good. It was good. Can't forget about the finishing moves. Some crazy finishing moves.
Finish him. You definitely finishing it out there.
So,
You know?
so,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the-
That's
so-
better inside. We're gonna keep that inside. That's for
yeah,
the raw
so
perspective.
yeah. So ladies, in April, so it's so like today, I got a chance to spend some time with a principal in I think Cypress Hill, and then afterwards I went over to 224 to go check out Rose people because they had a food distribution today for their families, man. And again, it just makes you realize why, as educators, man, it's okay to be tired. When you see people like what was going on at 224 today, just realizing like they're out there still making sure that those families are eating, even during the times when people think that this pandemic thing is rapidly coming to a close and that everybody's getting back to life, man. There's still some people out here that are struggling, and so it was great to go and see what Rochelle Hines and her team put together by way of this food distribution in East New York today. So real proud of her, real proud of whole people. So while I'm here, I'm just going to also too shout her out for her birthday. We want to give an early birthday shout out to Rochelle Hines, our sister. Her birthday is on Sunday.
Roll.
Then we got
Yeah. Salute.
Dame Dash on Monday, and then we got Dr. Action herself, Dr. Anissa Riley, aka Ask Dr. Riley, on Wednesday the 5th. So we got a lot going on, man. A lot going on, y'all.
Well, first of all, this is Taurus season. We know that. First of all, season of Taurus. We got Easy Breezy Dennis McKeezy coming up next week with his birthday. We're not gonna let him slip past that anyway. But a very important point that I would like to make is what we're doing for the communities. Because listen, through a pandemic, and we know that everybody's been hurting. I know we're coming out of the pandemic slowly but surely, but there are a lot of people in need. So if you have the opportunity to give to your food pantries, if you got an opportunity to donate to people, there are a lot of people in need. So let's do not forget about these underserved communities in need. For real, for real.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
April,
Why are we here today, though, D? Why are we here? We're here to set it off, though. Enough of this because we've been too nice and y'all let the week go by without us giving us what we need. Akbar Cook and my man from the West Side himself, from the West
so I'm gonna
Coast.
So
Principal
so so
Rahh.
so we gonna allow April. We gonna allow April to bring in our hosts, and we're gonna hang out with them for a few minutes. They got some pretty good, an exciting guest with them this week. But April, again, I'm offering the olive branch to you right now. I wanna. There's a peace treaty right now. No more fighting for the rest of the week. I'm just going to now turn this part over to you, and you can bring in our brothers so we can actually get them amped up about what's getting ready to go now.
You are a smart man, Dennis. This is why I know that you're very smart. You know when it's like,
I ain't stupid.
She gonna fight. She will not stop fighting.
No. So come on,
That's
April,
why
bring
you
our boys
can't win the fight when they just keep fighting. You're like, all right, you guys.
Listen, I'm not even fighting. Listen, it's all love.
All love.
All love. But
All
I'm humbled. I'm excited to be here this evening. Last Friday I was signing on. I was like, yo, where my brothers at? Where my brothers at? So I'm so happy today to be here to have King Akbar, King Rahh in the house. East Coast, West Coast, these brothers are doing their thing. We got a little challenge coming up with Newark, but we'll talk about that a little later. But with no further ado, bring them in.
Yeah, there's the boys. The boys are back.
Yeah, they back in town.
Yo?
What's up? What's up?
The boys are back in town.
What's good, baby?
So listen, you can always tell, boy. You can tell when that vaccine done kicked in, boy, because Ak is outside. Ak is outside. Ak wasn't outside for damn near a year. But boy,
heavily
he got vaccinated.
It's a wrap. Heavily vaccinated.
It's a wrap. He got that special Akbar Newark joint in him, man.
Yo,
He's ready to be outside party.
Did you get the Mercedes Benz or the Rolls Royce vaccine? I know you ain't missing that, Johnson. Which did you get?
Yo, hey, ladies, I put money in Moderna before it went up, so yeah, I'm on Moderna. Right?
You in that Moderna? Yeah, get that Rolls Royce, man. Don't mess around, Jack.
Yeah,
yeah. But you know what, Ak? You know what? Your man. I spoke to your man earlier today. And I said, yo, we might need to come out and come check you too. He was like, oh yeah, I'm shot up too. Is that correct there, brother Rahh?
Absolutely correct, man. I got my Rolls Royce too. I got my Rolls.
There you go.
Get that Moderna. Get that Moderna.
Yeah, buddy. So we good to go.
Yeah, man. So OSG's in the house, man. Well, listen, when we had to bring April on for this one. She's the great equalizer to all of us. So it was great to have her come on and bring you guys in along with myself and Uncle Lays, man. But, before we get up out of here, we just want everybody just to remember that all revolutionary leaders do what? Focus on the love. Let's go, fellas. Do y'all thing, man. Looking forward to it. West Side.
Absolutely.
You already know. You see the WS out here. You heard?
I see that.
Wait a minute, man. Listen, the U out here. The U is out here.
Uh-oh.
You out here. You need to stay home. You see the merch.
Oh no, hey, yo, you got to be leading the merch department right now. I'm not mad at you. I see the trip.
Before we go, I want to shout out my man Travis from Pharaoh's Academy with the official tissue Pharaoh's Academy hats. Please, we got to shout. My team is real fly. Everybody fly. Everybody fly.
Shout out to Trav in the Bronx. You heard?
Shout out to Principal Brown.
All right, y'all. We'll go do your thing. Everybody's waiting to hear from y'all. Everybody's waiting to see y'all, man. Do your thing, man. Salute to both of y'all. Much love.
Absolutely. 1,000%.
What's up, King?
And listen, man. Hey, OSG family. Listen, y'all. Last Friday, it was my 8-year anniversary, y'all. Shout out to my wife. I had to make sure I put the queen first. So I had to postpone and reschedule. So put it on me, y'all. It was on me last Friday, but we here, man. So things is good, King, man. How you feeling, man? You out and about, man? What's going on?
Nah, it's good, man. I'm trying to I'm trying to be a better dad. You know what I mean? We take care of kids so much, man, that sometimes we forget our own babies. So I'm getting my dad duties on now. I got my two youngest, cook boys, number 2 and number 3. They in the gym working out with their trainers and stuff. So I'm on location. I'm probably gonna be on location for the next whatever, because this is what day they work out. You feel me? But I'm gonna make sure we up. We'll make sure we good, but I got to be a better father, man. You know?
Man, listen, you said something that's important, man, because I think so much of the time we pour so much into our schools, so much into our community, and so much into everything else, and we can't pour from an empty well back into our family, man. My wife reminds me of that so much, and it's a work-life balance. And man, kudos to you, man, because that's so important for us to not only do so much for everyone else, and sometimes we can forget our own, and it's important for us to reconnect, you know, and disconnect from that so we can have the ability to reconnect. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely, man. What's going on, man? I was applauding you on the merch, man. Like, yo, Rahh, like, I see you, man. I see you, bro. Like you really making it hard on the pep out here, man. You heard me? So it's like, I see it. To stay hungry, baller belly, shout out the crew. They got y'all looking nice, and the whole school be having the U on, man. I'm like, yeah, I ain't touched that right there, right? Yeah, Rahh, you heard me?
Listen, man, it for those who don't know, man, listen, merch can do merch do so much for a kid, man. And everybody on the campus, when they wearing they stay hungry, they literally, like Dion said, when you feel good, you play good. You know what I mean? When you play good, they pay good.
Yeah.
Same thing when you in the classroom. When you feel good, when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you can work a little bit better. You like, man, I look good. I got my hair cut. I got my stay hungry merch on. You like, you ready to go, man. And shout outs to Baller Bellies, man. They said anybody who wants something, West Side, they make a stay hungry with y'all colors. And y'all be lights out there as well, man.
No, that's love, man. And you talking some real talk. We be talking about focus on the love, right? But I remember when I first started coaching at Newark, man, we was 0 and I don't know what, Rahh. That next year, I made sure we had we the only team probably in the country with the Kobe's on. Yeah. We had names on the back, stuff like that. Like, and that made the kids want to fight more. Like, yo, he put my name on his jersey in high school. You feel me? Little stuff like that make a kid go do wonders for you, man. So hats off to you and the Baller Belly crew for keeping y'all fly, man. I love it.
No doubt, man. No doubt. And that's what it's about, man. You know, we should be having our students look good, feeling good. So, you know, that little time, that day can mean so much. You know what I mean? Just them feeling good. So, man, thanks, man. Thanks for recognizing that, because you know, man, putting that stuff together, it ain't easy. It ain't easy, man. And kids be the hardest critics too. They be like, nah, I ain't about to wear it. You like, yo, what? You know,
I done bought all these colors, bro. You better wear this shirt.
You better wear this. You know, so it's good, man. So, you know, we here, man. I know you out with your family, man. So what you got for us today, man?
So, you know, I mean, you know, me and you, we go right off the energy, man. It's very authentic and organic, man. Me and Rod just be like, we'll just connect that day. We don't know what. So I happen to be on the phone with my brother. My brother hit me up late at night one night, 12 o'clock. And I'm looking at the phone like, what in the world? And there's my boy O Boogie. I call him Boog Nights. My boy Otis Kitchen, man, from Tampa, Florida, man. We went to school at Florida Atlantic University. And we both went on to become educators. And he just was named principal last year. So I wanted to bring my brother because he was talking some real talk. And I know what you're talking about, Rahh, about, you know, not seeing a lot of black men in education, period, and definitely not up top. I remember you talking about it in the LA, you know, in LA, I forgot what y'all call it, Unified School District or whatever. But let's bring my brother Otis Kitchen up, man.
Otis.
What's going on, fellas?
Oh, what's up, my boy?
Oh man, everything that y'all said really hit home to me as far as we go hard in the paint for our kids, man. And for us to be able to go hard in the paint, we definitely got to ensure that we have a nice work personal life. So we got to keep that balanced and really try to focus on just doing what we can do to be our very best at home and in work. So I appreciate the time to be here, man.
Absolutely, man. So, man, you was having that talk, man, and you was talking about how it's not many of you down there in Tampa, man. Can you just speak?
Man. Yeah, let me speak to that for a minute. So I'm an elementary school principal, and we have 147 elementary schools in Tampa. And out of the 147, there are only 3 black male principals out of the 147 elementary schools. And it really hit home to we stick together. We really try to collaborate. We're on that iron sharpens iron, and we've established a Black male leadership group to where we try to mentor and help the teachers and the youth behind us, because it's all about the legend behind us, not what we're doing, but what we can do for others behind us. So it's real, man.
So like, what are some of the things that y'all trying to do now? Tell me about how y'all district is spread out. Like, is it diverse? Like, what is the population? What does it look like?
We're actually the district as a population, we're 66 Hispanic, 33% Black, and about 30% white. So it's Hispanic, Black, and white. And within that, I know we focus as a Black male leadership group, and we actually sit on panels with the superintendent and we're in the leadership development department, because we're trying to bring that culturally diverse, proficient leadership within professional development opportunities for our district. But it is a struggle at the same time, because it's only so many of us, but we try to stick together. And like I said before, iron sharpens iron, man.
So like one of the things, like, people always ask us, like, what are we doing to be culturally relevant? And I think that's a loaded question, and I don't really like ask me that. But like, what are you doing, man, to be authentic in your own right out there, to let the kids know, Black and brown and white, because that white baby's your babies too. Like, make them be their authentic self and still reach for the stars. What are you doing at your school?
Well, at my school specifically, because we have to look at what happened historically. So I have discussions with educators on my campus, and we really deep dive into books. And we actually started with the book called White Fragility. I don't know if y'all ever heard of this book.
Yeah.
But within that book, you really look at white culture and how it's perceived, and how from their upbringing they have been perceived to think they're intellectually inferior, and it really breaks down their upbringing and how that manifests into the school system. So I actually go through that book with a group of educators at my school, to the point where we have authentic conversations. And once we're able to establish that historical cultural lens, we're able to break down the systemic racism, because we have a lens to where we can see it, because we've looked at things historically.
My man, Rahh, you got something for O?
Yeah, you know, as a Black male principal, right? We especially in the space where you said it's 3, right? It's 3 Black male principals.
Yes, sir.
We're like unicorns, right?
Yeah.
And my question for you is, how do you take care of self when you know that you are having to navigate so much, right? You have to navigate through just being a Black man. You have to navigate through the perceptions. You have to navigate with the truth. So how do you deal with and cope with the traumas that exist probably within the structures of the educational system? What is your self-care mechanisms?
Well, first of all, I always reflect on a quote from Carter G. Woodson, where he talks about our minds. Our minds control our actions. So we have to be very cognizant of what we think about ourselves, because with everything in the media right now, and has always been, if you really focus on what the media is saying about us, we will think that we're intellectually inferior. So we got to protect our mind first. And what I do is, when I wake up in the morning, I go to my devotional and I list 3 things that I'm grateful for before I even step foot on the floor. And then I repeat that same process at night. So mentally, I can ensure that I know I'm great historically. So therefore, I have gifts that I need to make sure that I'm a blessing for other people. So I always make sure that I protect my mind and my body. I'm very strict in my regimen as it relates to drinking water, making sure that I'm walking or running 30 minutes per day, and making sure that I'm getting enough sleep, because I got to be connected mentally, physically. And then I'm involved also in a fellowship group on Wednesdays with my men's ministry, to where it's iron sharpens iron there. So I'm connected spiritually. So I make sure I'm very strategic in taking care of myself, mind, body, and soul, so I can make sure that I'm a blessing for my students and my school community.
Yo, what's good, man? Good to
What's
see you
happening?
again, brother.
Yes,
I'm good.
sir.
I'm good. But as I hear you talk, man, one of the things that I find really impressive, because I follow you on social media as well, man, and I see how you've just balanced your life, with family, right? And I get
Yes,
to
sir.
see how that beautiful woman who stands alongside of you,
Yes, sir.
how she is become a true fixture, not only with you in social media, but I think in your career as an educator.
Yes.
Talk to the people, man. Talk to the people about the impact that
Yeah.
she has on the man that you've become and the leader that you've become, brother.
Man, I appreciate you asking that question, man, because she is everything. She is the female version of me and then some. She is a hard worker. She's involved in her AKA organization where she's one of the board members in that. She runs a ministry. She step for step with me as far as the ministry, as far as taking care of your body, as far as motivating me, as far as encouraging me and building me up to the point where she understands and she helps me to recognize my true greatness. And without that going on, this wouldn't be possible.
Yeah, why I asked that is because I know you're a fairly new principal, right? And
Yes, sir.
oftentimes, man, like your confidence may waver, your energy levels may waver, but when you have somebody alongside of you
Come
who
on, man.
understands you and
Come on, man.
trust, man, I think it definitely strengthens you to be like, you know what? All right, I could get up and go do this tomorrow too. So I think that's why, I brought it up because I get a
Come on, man.
chance to see you and see how the impact that she's making on your life as a school leader. And that is something that I think we all got to understand. I think Ak and both Rod talked about that earlier about being able to take care of your family. But it's also important that we recognize when they taking care of us, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's our wife or our children and stuff for this, I think it's important that we at least acknowledge the fact that we're not great by ourselves, man. There are always people who stand alongside of us. Again, my lovely wife, Denise, my family, I think play a large role in that. My OSG family, man, they play a large role in that. But I just definitely wanted you to just touch on that just one more time before you get out of here. It's like the importance of that balance, because it's not only her, but I see how important family is to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and especially during this pandemic. I mean, like you mentioned, to be a new principal going into a pandemic, trying to connect with the community, I'm trying to learn my role at the same time. And for her to be able to recognize those things and some of the responsibilities that I used to have around the crib, I'm not able to really take care of the crib like I used to because I'm still learning the job. And for her to recognize that and be like, you know what, I got you, I'm gonna hold it down. Don't even worry about it. This, that, and the third. And for me to be able to focus on the task at hand at work. But at the same time, I do try to look out for her. But at the same time, also the new role and for her to be able to hold it down, man, it's been truly a blessing. And like you mentioned, man, I wouldn't be here today without the support from her, my family, and multiple other people in my life. And nobody makes it anywhere by him or herself. Everybody needs somebody to support them. And that's why I continue to support people, because I know I'm getting it in return.
No doubt.
No doubt, bro. No, that's important.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, I appreciate you, King. You're right.
Come on, man.
Hold on, I want to say this. I want to say
Come
this.
on, come on.
He said something quick that I think Dennis is saying too. It's important that we acknowledge the covenant energy, right?
Ooh.
Because when we make that covenant, that energy is really powerful for many of us who make that commitment for our wives. That's really engaged in this work, right? And it's important that. And thank you, Dennis, for bringing that up, because a lot of times in this role as a leader, you're very selfless, and I can speak to it. And we do so much, and we got to acknowledge the village, but especially in the role of being black men. Black male teachers matter, black teachers matter, but also black families matter, and black marriage matters, right? And I think it's important that when we talk about living off of village energy, shout outs to the Principal Rahman, is we acknowledge the energy that the village provides and pour back into us.
Come on.
So, you know, Principal Otis, you know, as a first year principal, you coming in the game at a unique time.
Yes.
But you are the right man for the job because you got the right village with you, you know. So continue to build, man. Continue. We all rooting for you. And you know, it's just amazing. So keep going, man. We're rooting for you.
Thank you, man. It's been truly a blessing chopping it up with y'all, man.
So
Hey, Otis,
before
you go,
he was a Tampa Bay fan ever since I known him. So we got to give him that pass because he been rocking with the Buccaneers when they was losing. So hats off to y'all.
I gotta tell you something, man. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all tonight. Ever since that whole Colin Kaepernick situation went down, I haven't watched football in 4 years.
Oh.
That's how real that situation was to me. As much as I love Tampa Bay and as much as I love football, I can't rock with the NFL anymore because of that, man. Real talk.
That's big.
Yeah,
that's big. Well, Otis, before you leave, man, let people know where they can find you on social media, bro.
Come on, man. Y'all can hit me up, Old Kitchen 32, Twitter. Holla at me.
There he is. He around his country.
Hey,
that's country.
They don't want me to squirrel on them. They don't want me to squirrel on them.
Hit him with it, Otis. Hit him with it, Principal Otis.
All right, oh, salute to you, oh.
Yes, sir. Man, that's huge right there, man. Hey, Principal Otis out there, he gonna be all right, man. He's gonna be all right.
That's love. Y'all drop some jewels on him too, man. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, he, it's bugged because I remember O had, he's come on OSG a few times too. And I remember he said, I'm glad that you've made yourself available to me if I ever need anything. It's kind of rough down there, being one of few black male principals. But I told him, listen, man, OSG's here for you, man. We all family. We gonna make sure you get through it. But then the pandemic hit, and that man, if you look at him now and you really understand what he goes through, it's no way that man could be doing that by himself. No possible way could he take over a school during a pandemic and still look the way he does and enjoy himself. So again, shout out to O and his lovely wife and things like that. So let me just get up out of here, man, and let y'all do y'all thing. I might jump back up here in a minute if you don't mind.
Hey, listen.
No, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, King, man. That was big, man. You always dropping jewels, man. I love how y'all, you know what I mean? It's a brotherhood, man. Like, you don't know open a can of paint, you still just, drop jewels on them. So I appreciate that.
Hey, man, we are all we have, but we are also all that we need. You know what I mean? So that's just what it is, King. So that's much love. So, man, I want to bring in, my brother, man. We go way back, man. I don't know, Akbar, when I was a teacher, man, before I stepped out the classroom, I was trying to build this like fraternity on my campus. I taught middle school, man. I taught middle school mathematics. And the school, my brother was an Omega. My brother's Omega, man. Omegas, they don't play. They don't play. So I was like, man, I'm about to bring this Omega Psi Phi feeling on my campus. And the school I was at was called Markham, man. So I started this group called Markham Psi Phi. And then I partnered up with law enforcement, man, and we started training law enforcement and restorative practices. And the person I'm bringing on was one of the officers. He's a retired officer now. I trained him in restorative practices, and we came together. He joined the group and started doing a lot of work called Boys and Gentlemen. He's going to talk about, but really dope guy, man. I want to bring up my boy, my brother, another king, Officer Keith Linton. Let's bring him up.
How you doing, Rahh? Brother Rahh, how you doing? I've heard a lot about you, Principal Akbar. Nice to meet you. Blessed to be amongst some brothers doing some stuff in the community. And Rahh, you know my love for you. We met back in like 2007. And so for those of you who don't know, man, I'm from, I call them the Bricks. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. My family still lived there, Brownsville Housing Developments, 30 years. Came out to California because my father was out here. And to be real with you all, I hated law enforcement. I was a track star. Well, I thought I was a track star, but I hated law enforcement. I hated the sheriffs. I hated LAPD. I was always getting pulled over. And, you know, joining LAPD was my form of silent protest. I wanted LAPD and officers that I worked around to see that there was a young black man who had tattoos, who was from the projects, who made it out the projects, and who can actually show up to a scene and look like the person or the people they serving, and who knew how to de-escalate, who knew how to read maps, a computer, and who looked like the person or the people they were serving. And so in 2008, I met Rahh, and I met Rahh because as an officer, I was tired of seeing my partner officers pull over young men that looked like me or had maybe a little bit of swag and sag their pants a little bit like I would do when I walked in the roll call, or had earrings in like I wore as an officer. I didn't like it. So I thought it was hypocritical. Here I am, I'm LAPD officer, and then in the summertime, I'm going home to Brownsville Projects, hanging out with my cousins and you know, doing what I do with my cousins. But I was tired of seeing that school to prison pipeline. I was tired of seeing how could our black boys be the lowest percentage in population, but the highest percentage getting suspended. And I was tired of going on the campus and my brothers seeing me as a black man, because before I was an officer, I was a black man. When I take my uniform off, I'm a black man. When I'm in roll call, they still see me as a black man. And so when I was in my neighborhood, I didn't feel like I was occupying. My thing was, these are my people. I'm here to serve my people. I'm here to let these young boys see, yo, you could be an officer and you might not like LAPD, but yo, we got to shake things up. And like I said at the beginning of this, that was my silent protest, to get in there and let them see, yo, these young men that you're arresting, that's from the projects. I'm from the projects. I'm a product of the projects. And so I met Rahh at Markham, and I went back to my sergeant. I was like, man, bump the streets, really. You guys can handle all that stuff on the streets, but what if, like in my mind, I'm sure Rahh thought this, I always thought this as an officer, what if we can re-engineer the way they do policing? And what if I can get into a young kid's life now? And instead of them giving them a booking number, what if I can give them hope? What if I can re-engineer the whole way policing is and bump the booking number, but now be the officer that's giving them hope? And so let me partner with this brother who I see in the circle, and I see these boys dancing. I come in there and they just talking about, yo, did you see the new Jays that just came out? Did you see the game last night? And so they see me, they're like, oh, I don't like the popo. And I sit down and I'm like, I'm not even here representing the popo. I'm representing Rahh. I just want to talk. And so, you know, I was able to see what trauma-informed practices were. I was the first LAPD officer from LAPD to be trained in that by Rahh. And I was able to see what restorative practice was, a new way of behavior, a new way of looking at the kid, the whole kid, and not just, you know, always yelling at him, but seeing how his day's going, maybe what's going on at home. How can I help him as an officer? How can I be a leader to him? So I met Rahh, and we started doing restorative justice together. And I believe Rahh at Markham at the time, they had all these suspensions, but after you and I were working together, all those suspensions were down by like 90%. Absolutely. And so 5 years later, in 2015, I had about 180 grand on the table for LAPD to become a sergeant. And I said, you know what? I'm tired of people just talking. I'm tired of this right here. I'm about to show the community of Watts what I mean when I say that I love this community. And so I walked into LAPD headquarters. I said, I quit. I'm done being an officer. And at that time, I had about 100 commendations. I was up for 2 promotions, the #1 community officer for LAPD. And I left. I retired early. And I retired early. That next month, I came back to Watts as a regular citizen without a gun, and where I used to patrol for 13 years. And I started Voice of Gentlemen. And I went straight to Jordan Downs, Nickerson Gardens, Imperial Courts, Avalon Gardens. I went to the hardest schools to get into, where our boys were, you know, where 75% of our black and brown boys were not meeting their math standards, where 75% of us wasn't reading right. I went to those schools so I could help my people. So the program was formed by me, but it's for the people. And, you know, I spent 13 years protecting, but I think what's going on today with officers' mentality is this. Like, I always felt as an officer, you weren't here to serve me. I'm here to serve you. And so 13 years I protected Watts, and now I'm blessed to be able to serve him. And so I'm a community advocate, I'm a youth advocate, and I'm about the mission. I could care less about the recognition. If you about the recognition, I can't rock with you. For me, it's about the mission. And I know Rahh knows already, but man, I'm trying to take any at-risk boy and make him to an at-hope gentleman. That's what we're doing. And so yeah, that's me. That's what I'm doing till I die now, is I'm a servant. And trying to get young officers that I still talk to reimagine policing, to have them understand what's going on in our underserved communities and the origination of law enforcement and what our brothers have been going through for 400 years. And so that's what I do. I'm trying to re-engineer the way police officers think and still help the badge by interceding early with these young men. So,
man, listen, man, I'm just so proud of you, King. And you know, you said some key things. We always talk about short game and long game. And I talk to people all the time. If we truly want to change our world with our communities and society, we must change the criminal justice system. But in order to truly change the criminal justice system, we have to change the educational system. Because you talked about the school to prison pipeline, but we also have the school to like your own dehumanized way of being pipeline, right? Which means that there are people that are going through a cycle of this is the way it's supposed to be. Punitive decisions, this is the way it's supposed to be. School leaders and educators, this is the way it's supposed to be. You do something, you put in jail. You do something, you're locked up. You say one thing, right? Those structures. But then you look at the history of policing. It's very structurally put together in a dehumanizing way, especially for Black, Indigenous, and people of color. So what you said, man, is really powerful, man. Can you talk a little bit more about like some of the work that Boys and Gentlemen do with some of the elementary schools, and how's your experience been? And what are some of the things that you find joy when you're meeting with some of these young gentlemen and young kings?
you know, I think when you talk about legacy and being great, for me, it's about if I can plant those seeds, and when I'm gone, it bears fruit. And I people call me Officer Litton, and B to G, but what I am, man, is just I just look at myself as hope. In our underserved communities right now, man, if you look at the educational system, there's no hope in it. Law enforcement, there's no hope. You got our brothers in the hood that's trying to get to school. They're trying to beat this gang line right here. So Grape Street trying to not get caught up by bounty hunters. Then they get to school, but these young homies can't even read and write, so they get in trouble on purpose because I can't let my homie know I can't read. So I'm gonna get in trouble on purpose because I know the school system set up to send my ass home, and then I can't write or I can't do math. So anytime it's calling on me, I'm just gonna make up something to get in trouble. I'm gonna act crazy because at all these campuses, most of them, they jumping them at lunch. And then if you get through the day, you gotta go home and now you're getting pulled over by the police. So now you're worrying about that. And then you're worrying about the hood politics when you get back in your in the house. So man, I just when I go into schools, man, I'm just trying to bring that positivity, that empowerment. As you know, Rahh, I'm sorry, man, but this is a great. What you're doing is great. What Principal Akbar is doing is great. What OSG is doing is great. But Rahh, out here, all they do is this. How is it that our Black and brown boys, only 25% of them can meet the standards for English? So what I did was, instead of talking about it, I partnered with a nonprofit group, and last semester we made 7 fifth grade Black and brown boys first time authors on Amazon. So that's the kind of stuff I'm doing. We're doing a second book this semester, and I'm just utilizing what we did, Rahh. I'm utilizing restorative justice. I'm walking into campuses, and instead of you sending them to the office, send them to Officer Linton. Let me talk to them. Let me chop it up with them a little bit, and let me reset their mindset and get them back into the class. I think, it's all about the mindset. And it doesn't matter. When you're in school, it's not all about academia. It's all about, you got some cool principles, but you were saying, Rahh, you got some cool principles. And it's like, this is my school. But the kid don't even know what the name of the principal. The kid don't know the name of the teacher. So there'd be many times I would come into a school and they wouldn't want me back the next year because they were wilding in their class, but when the Officer Linton show up, why they cool with you? And I'd be like, they cool with me because I am them and they are me. They know that. They know that I don't judge them for what they are, but I judge them for what they could be. So what that means to them is that, when you meet Officer Linton, I don't care what you're doing. I'm not judging you for who you are right now. I'm going to help you be who you could be. I'm judging you on that person that I can see. You can't see it, but I can see it. And so once you do that, these kids start to trust you, and then they be like, man, bump this teacher when Officer Linton coming. And so it's just as simple as sitting down, having a conversation. Officers do. We want to tell you, do this, do that, do this. But all you got to do is listen. That's all people want. Listen. And what our brothers want, they don't want handouts. They don't want free turkeys. They want opportunity. And so that's what my program's set up to do. Like, if you're a tier 3 student and you always get in trouble, you think you come to me? Oh, I'm going Officer Linton. No. I want to give you an opportunity to grow into a young king. So I don't care what you've done now. I'm gonna show you, because what we do as leaders, sometimes we want them to give us the respect. But whenever I walk into a campus, Rahh, I say, man, I don't want your respect. I'm gonna earn your respect. I'm gonna show you what respect looks like. And so that's just how I've been. And I mean, we talk about freedom. I saw on CNN the other day they asked Biden, is America racist? And we're talking about freedom. And man, you really can only be free when you're yourself. When you, it's not about law enforcement and all that. It's like, are you free to be you? And with LAPD, no, I was not free to be me. But now, B to G, I'm real 100%. I am doing what I'm called to do. And so that's another thing. What I try to do when I go in these schools is, if our boys and girls, not just our boys, but if our Black and brown boys and girls knew maybe a little bit what they're destined to do, and then we help them with that, that's gonna keep them on that straight path. That's gonna keep. So I know what I'm destined to do right now is to be a servant and to help these Black and brown boys, to help these Black and brown girls, and teach them, look, man, you can do whatever you want. Like, they don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that in North Africa, we built those pyramids and they so designed so well that they say aliens built them. No, that's our people. Yeah. And you are your ancestors' dreams. They be forgetting, like, do you know that you are your ancestors' dream? Like, what they dream that you could be. So even on your worst day, your ancestors were dreaming that they could be you. Do you know what we built? And so I gotta take them back to that, like, yo, you a king, you a queen, like, bump all the other shit that they talking, you powerful. And so that's what they don't want us to know. That's what they don't show on TV. But if I'm in class, forget Officer Linton. You call me DL, and I'm gonna talk to you about our history. I'm gonna empower you. And when I walk out that school campus, Rahh, I'm gonna have some kids maybe coming to me, and you know what we do, Rahh. We give out Jordan and stuff, but half that stuff you won't see on my IG, because you know what? It's not even about IG, man. It's about me and that connection with that kid. So IG might not see me give a pair of Jordans. IG might not see me help their parents pay the rent, but that parent know, that kid know. And so that's why I say, forget the recognition. I'm in this for the mission, man. And so that's my thing, Rahh. Man, it's all love, Rahh. And I see in the chat someone talking about, I could talk about Brownsville projects all day. I don't know who said it, but you don't want me to start talking about the brick house.
Lynn, listen, the OSG coalition it's East Coast heavy. So you got a lot of people connected with that East Coast vibe, love Brownsville. So they don't, when they probably heard you say Brownsville, their OSG ears just kind of probably
right.
just what?
That's right. That's
So,
right. That's that number 3 chain.
I want to say this, man, before I know Ak may have something. You know, you nailed something really powerful. And I was talking to my boy Sticks that came to my school today, and I was talking to my students, and I told them, you know, we're called the change agents, but I think too much in school, we try to teach our young people how to identify a job, but we don't teach them how to identify their purpose. Because when they identify their purpose, then they're able to go and solve real world problems. And when they're able to solve real world problems, they then have the ability to unlock their hidden power. And when they unlock their hidden power, like what you're doing, that's when you find your joy. And when you find your joy, you are then in possession of your gift, right? And when you're in possession of your gift, it's then your obligation to go back and share it with as many people as possible so they can find their gift as well. And that's what you're doing, King. You are sharing your gift with all these young people so they can ultimately find their gift as well. So I just want to give you your flowers, man. You've been putting in the work, and I'm just proud of you, King. I don't know, Ak, I don't know if you had anything.
Yeah, definitely, man. I appreciate you, Officer Lynn, and what you're doing with B to G. So, you know, OSG, we're a coalition of, you know, of educators from all around the world. And I know I've been trying to combat some of the, you know, the racial injustice things that I've been seeing, and even with the, you know, with the police and the, you know, the relationship with my students and my community. One of the things we've been doing is just bringing the cops there to speaking about different things, but also showing the kids what it looks like to get pulled over and what they should do in that instance. Like, what can you tell other educators like me? Like, what can we do if we don't have an Officer Linton in our building? Like, what can we do to not be victims and be victors?
You know what? You know, an example is, and I'll get to your point, Akbar. The example is LAPD had a meeting the other day that I heard about, and Imperial Courts is complaining about, we cool with your officers, but then they leave and we got to deal 24/7 with our homies, and we diffusing the situation. They show up and they arrest everybody, and then our homies think we're a snitch. And so LAPD's response was, well, we'll do this, we'll do that. And I said, see, that's what's wrong with policing. Because if you see a problem and only doing something because people complaining, it's not in your heart. They need to, you know, the reason I did what I did is not LAPD training. Yeah, I learned about law, probable cause, reason suspicion, tactics. But the stuff that I do in Rahh, the stuff I did in the school, is from the heart. You can't teach that stuff. Like what you do, there's millions of principles out there that I've met. But what you do, Akbar, what you do, Rahh, academia didn't teach you that. That's from your life experience. That's from the heart, what you do. Working these long hours, doing the podcast, all that. But as far as officers, man, I teach and we do a class. I teach them that, you know what? It's too bad that in these schools, they don't tell you your rights, but I go all through the rights about search and seizure. You get pulled over. No, they cannot just search your car. They gotta have what you can ask, sir, what is your probable cause? Because when you do that, then they're gonna be like, is his daddy a lawyer? Because you know they don't expect black and brown kid. They expect you to say, man, why you pull me over? But if you come at them like, what's the reasonable suspicion? You know, you have probable cause. And then I always say, man, ask them when you get pulled over. They got by law. You have to act that you can say, can I get your badge number? Can I get an instant number? And you can record as well. You know, every shooting that I've seen, and this is just my personal opinion, because, you know, I'm a little bit biased because of where I was trained with LAPD, but I was trained very well in tactics, and every shooting I've seen so far, none of them are good shootings. None of them are justified. And that's just me based on my training experience. But man, Akbar, you know, I don't even think I told you, Rahh. I was telling my mom the other day. So I've left LAPD now. I've been retired for 5 years. Last year I got pulled over 20 times. And not only did I get pulled over, I got pulled out the car because they saw my tattoos, they saw the earrings. And so I let them go all the way. Do you live in this area? What are you doing in this area? Do you have warrants? Are you on parole? And then I just let them go. And then I take out my retirement badge and I'm like, yo, I used to be one of you. So I want to see your back. So it's happening to me. It's happening to me. The only reason I'm not scared when I get pulled over, and you know what, to be honest, man, if I'm driving in another city and it's not California, as a black man, as a veteran LAPD officer, I'm scared to get pulled over. And I know tactics, I know what to say, but man, it's like it's like a war out here, man, and it's sad because Rahh knows I love my East Coast, but on the West Coast right now, our young brothers, man, they're being killed. They're killing one another. They're being killed in the housing developments, and then we got these police shootings. And then they're expected to go to school. It's rough, man. It's so I don't know if I really answered your answer, Akbar, but really, man, when officers come onto campuses, the first thing they need to be, and I really think, man, is if they know anything about. See, we get trained on how to provide trauma, how to save people, but we don't know about trauma-informed practice. We don't know about restorative practices. They need to be trained before they even meet with your kids, man. They need to be trained like, yo, this is what we stand for right here. I'm not asking you to come give tickets. I'm not asking you to look for marijuana. I'm not asking you to, nah, man, this is my school. This is what we stand for right here. If you're here to build a relationship, cool. But we're not asking, is your dad, we're not asking about gang affiliate. No, we're not doing none of that. So you gotta let those officers know, like, yo, you're an officer, but yo, if you're here on this campus, you're here to serve me as a leader and serve my kids. We're not asking you to occupy our campus. And so that's what a lot of principals are not doing. A lot of principals are just saying, oh, LAPD, oh, school police. Bump that. No, that's your campus. That's your school community. And these officers need to know, like, yo, if you're in my school community, this is how we do business. And if you're not willing to do business like this and help our kids to see you in a different way and reimagine how you think, then no, we cool. We don't need that. And so I say this to any park officers that might see me at a school and be like, yo, Officer Lynn, what you doing here? And if I know that they're not about that, if they're about some other business, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to university pathways, but I'm cool. But if I know they got the same mindset, come on in, man. Show the kids, your best. Talk to them, man. Talk to them about your life, how you play ball, games. Forget the police stuff, man. Just be human. And so,
Officer Linton, what's going on, brother? Good to see you, man. Thank you so much for all you shared with us. Y'all got a quick question for you, man. Something that I've always wondered about when it came to the officers, especially officers of color, black in particular. You're part of a force that, that are picking us off right and left, and as a black officer who knows that this stuff is happening, who sees some of this stuff at times. I'm not talking about now with you because you're no longer with the force, but why do we just stand around and watch it happen? Why aren't more officers coming to the defense of the victim? Why does it take 5, 6, 10 people to sit around and watch that type of abuse and no one breaks it up? Can you just explain to me why that is, especially even if there's a person of color with the same badge, the same gun? Why do they let that stuff happen without any kind of resistance whatsoever from the victim?
You know what, Dennis, I'm glad you asked that question. I get asked that question a lot when I show up to schools and community meetings. And here's the thing, man. I was in Watch for 13 years. My captain promoted me 2 times. When I used to go up to my locker, they barely would let me in the building without asking me for my ID. But the white officer come and he's in. But they every day, yo, do you work here? Blah, blah. And then I stand at my locker, and half the officers wouldn't even talk to me. And so I can't speak for all these other police departments, but LAPD, they train you to be leaders. But once you get out, you're a follower. You following your P3, you following your sergeant, you following your captain, you're following the chief. And the thing is the example is, yo, when I left in 2015, I knew a lot of officers, but when I was an officer and I was in Jordan Downs, I was working with Rahh, I was working with the Bounty Hunter Bloods, the Crips, because I was so cool with them. Now they started to ostracize me. So then I go to roll call and they be planning the raid and they would stop roll call for me and my partner, leave the building, do their raid plans elsewhere because they said we were too cool with the community. So then they start to ostracize you if you're too cool. And then the community, so me, that was the final draw to where I was like, and then I would be in the car with they would mix me with some of the gang unit. And so we go and Jordan Downs and be like, yo, we're about to pull this person over. And I would be, and then they would get out the car and I'd just be like this in the car. And they would call for backup. And I'm like, you can cancel the backup. I'll just be sitting there. And so we get into it. And then when we debrief, I'm like, why'd you pull him over? Oh, because he's a known Grape Street. And I'm like, you know what? Do you know that when I lived in Brownsville Projects, my boys were Latin Kings? I wasn't Latin King. I wanted to play ball. So you telling me because he with his cousin, that's Grape Street, now he is a Grape Streeter? Is that what it is? And so you have a lot of officers. It's like it becomes like a fraternity, man, to where you know better, but you ain't gonna say shit because when you get back to roll call, you want people talking shit about you. And for me, excuse my language, I was like, nah, fuck that. Like, I'm going home to the bricks every summer when I get 30 days vacation. I can't. Nah, my mama, they even want me to be LAPD. I can't do that. So I would be the one to be like, yo, I'm not pulling him over. We don't need to take his car. He lives right there. No, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. And so what they would do to me, before you know, I was on a different watch. Before you knew it, I can coach, the watch Bears, the watch Rams, now Rock. It put me off of that. Before you know it, I wasn't going to Markham because you know what? We want you to do this over here. So they started ostracizing me to the fact to where I was like, you know what? I'm cool. I'm gonna do this shit on my own. I'm gonna leave you. And so when I left LAPD, it's been 6 years. Only one officer out of 10,000 have supported me. Only one. And so now they used to say when I used to be so cool with the hood, you like one of them. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? This is what we're supposed to do. I'm a community officer, but you like one of them. I'm like, they all black. So what? I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what you mean? I am them. I'm just here doing the work and we're supposed to serve the people. And so I saw that with LAPD. I work with a lot. I work with a lot of good officers, but I saw that with LAPD as well. And so that's why I was like, instead of just saying this is community and saying, I understand, I said, no, let me quit. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna work as a regular citizen with the people that I used to work with as an officer. And man, Ross seen it. I would go to schools and I'll have, if I'm at 112th Street, Rod, that's in Nickerson. I have an OG that says, yo, Linton, you here? Oh, we got you. I'll have LAPD that see me and they roll right past me and they know me. And so it's like I got ostracized for leaving that LAPD family. And so then it's, to answer your question, man, you got a lot of officers that they scared of that shit. And even though they shouldn't be, they thinking, well, this 6-figure salary, this money, this friends. And for me, I was like, that's not why I signed up. I signed up to help my people. It was my form of silent protest, and I ain't dealing with that. But man,
Officer Linton, let me say this though, and then I'll pass it on to April. I mean, we had a conversation not long ago as principals, and it's really the same concept, which is, yo, you know what your beliefs are. You know what's best for the kids. You know best for the community. Why are you doing the things that you're doing that seems to not be advancing our young people? So I asked you that question because I think as educators, what we are now understanding more than ever before is that we're not these exclusive group of people who don't have to deal with some of the same things that the police officers are dealing with. That there are people who, no matter what they believe in, is going to make sure that they go home to that 6-figure job. And if that means I'm going to do what they asked me to do, even though I don't agree with it, they're going to do that. So I applaud you for making the effort to change the community in spite of the fact that they basically put you in that same category, that you recognize the importance that, you know what, you can probably make a greater impact even with just one supporter than you would if you would have stayed on the force and played that game with them and next thing you know, now you've destroyed all the relationships with the people that you've put together. So, man, I applaud you so much, man, and I thank you for answering that question because, as I said, it doesn't matter whether it's here, whether it's in education, whether it's in whether it's the police force, whether it's there were people who turned their back on Colin Kaepernick. You know what I'm saying? There were people who played football with him who said, "Nah, not me, bruh. Nah, I got to keep this. I got to keep this bag." So we are recognizing that that's what it's about, and I think only people who truly believe in the cause will stand up for what needs to happen, and especially for our young people. So thank you, man. I thank you so much. Salute to you. Again, even though you over there on the West Coast, man, please just understand you got family on the East Coast as well that support your move and everything that you do.
Appreciate it. Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
Go ahead, Avenger.
Muted.
You're muted, April.
Brother Linton.
Yes, ma'am.
Echo going on here. First of all, Brownsville in the house. Brownsville, Brooklyn, right here. Hoping you know something about the BRC and Jocko. Jocko is everything to us, and I truly believe that because of Jocko, if you know Jocko, then you are where you are because of Jocko. You dropped so much jewels, and I commend you. I admire you, and I really want to connect with you because I know we're running out of time here. But just really quick, I run an alternative high school in Brooklyn, out in Coney Island, and I started a policing program with the most unlikely individuals, just so that our young people would have a platform to express how they feel and sort of create that restorative conversation piece. Not that, when people hear about it, they think I was preparing kids to be cops. Absolutely not. I was preparing my students to have a platform and learn how to articulate and win a battle that they haven't been used to winning. And on the other side of that, I had amazing officers just like you, and they shared the exact same stories, facing that systemic racism, within that color blue, within their struggles, from officers to lieutenants to chiefs. Ironically, Chief Juanita Holmes was actually setting up a conversation with me with somebody out in Long Beach policing, who wanted to get more information about how our program was successful and how it sustained for so many years. But the pandemic sort of put that on ice. But I'm really ready to resurface that conversation, hoping I can get out there and build with you some more and share. But, I commend your courage. I appreciate you. I love you for all that you continue to do for our kids. And I just really wish there was a better way where you were still able to operate from that inside and affect that change. But, we don't know. Let's see what's to come. But again, I appreciate you. I love you. Brownsville strong. Salute, brother. Hoping I can get out there soon and build with both you and Rod together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey man, Officer Linton.
And before you go, hold on a second, Rob. So Officer Linton, we got a lot of people in the chat saying you got a private IG. They trying to hit you up. So just know if it's possible, just for a little while, make it public and just back and forth until so we can be part of what you're doing, man. Thank you.
I just made it public. Just made it public. It's public now. There you go.
Hey Keith, man, love you, brother. Stay inspired, stay hungry,
Yes,
stay
sir.
encouraged. And we're a village. You know what I mean? We are a village. We are a coalition. We are the people that are about this life, that's about the work. And you were not invited on here for no reason. You were invited here because it was a moment in time that was destined. So I just want to let you know, man, you continue to be encouraged, you continue to be empowered, you continue to be mission driven, and everything else falls. So So thank you, man. Bless week. You already know. Stay rep. Thanks, man.
Wow, this was some session, fellas. This was some session, man. Yeah, if whoever missed this one live, man, they missed something special. I think what you both brought to the table tonight was something that we all needed to hear. You know what I'm saying? We all needed to understand that collectively starting with understanding the importance, and what Ox started with earlier is the importance of family and sticking together and taking care of yours. And then we got Officer Linton coming in and doing the same and talking about the importance of taking care of our own. I think it's really important that we walk away tonight understanding the importance of, I understand the conversation of inclusion. I truly do. But I do think there's sometimes we may have to actually not try to fit into that inclusion. We may actually need to do our own thing from time to time, set precedents in our own way, change the communities in our own way. I understand there's going to be struggles. I understand there's going to be battles, but why would we want to be included in something that people don't want us in the first place? Why? You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling y'all that we shouldn't at least try, but I'm basically telling you, when you realize that it's not working, it's okay to recognize that we have the power and the answer within us. Dr. Gasway talked about it with us last night. Just simply, the answer is within us. So what y'all brought tonight, man, I don't even know if y'all realize the impact of the guests that you guys brought in tonight. And again, I think it's probably because we brought April and the Avenger in that y'all stepped y'all game up the way y'all did. Because she been running the crew when it comes to these shows. So I think y'all definitely stepped your game up with that. What you say, April?
No, you know what? Honestly, it's the power of the Kings that gave me the motivation to step in. So if it wasn't for you, there would be no Avenger on a show right now. So whatever is happening to me is all due to you, and I appreciate you, brothers, and I respect you. Continue to push me, challenge me. Let's work. That's it.
Absolutely.
No, you already know, April. It's all love, man. Thank you. Coney Island already know. You're doing some big things there, so yeah.
All love.
Yeah. Don't forget, man. Don't forget to salute our OSG family for their birthdays coming up. Rochelle is Sunday. We got Dame on Monday. We got Dr. Action on Wednesday. We got Malik on the 11th. You got me on the 17th. You got Dr. Asia Johnson on the 29th of May. So just continue to keep these people lifted up and stuff like that, wishing them nothing but the best for their birthdays and stuff like that. So again, Sunday, make sure y'all send a special shout out to our girl, our friend, our sister, Rochelle Hines, man. She's done so much for this crew, and I think we owe that to her to kind of blow up her timeline on Sunday. So salute to both of y'all fellas, man, for real. What a great show you guys did today. Tremendous. I'll let you finish it out, Rahh.
Just happy birthday to everyone, OSG. Dane, Dr. Action, Dr. Malik, you, Dennis, you and my brother share the same birthday. My father's birthday is May 12th. May is deep. My son will be here in a couple days. So May we deep. The Avenger, man, it's always good to have April up in here just giving us and pushing us and challenging us. Talk with grit, because that's 24/7. You plug the grit, talk with grit. You got to make sure you have those courageous conversations. So talking with grit coming up soon, and then Air Ock, man. It's always good to just focus on the love, man. And I think what both of our guests spoke highly of was really focusing on the love. So, man, shout outs to you and the whole merch line and everything that's coming with that. And that's really what it's about.
That's big. And we be trying to tell everybody, like, I didn't know he was bringing in his brother. I was bringing in my brother, and it just connected, man. That's that organic love that when me and Rahh get together, man, coast to coast, man, we bring. So, man, hats off to you, Rahh. They gonna think we planned this, but we ain't even talk until today. So, yeah.
There it is. So again, we're gonna end it with the same. Oh, we got Smitty and Smith.
Oh, Lydia got to come up front. Lydia had me out there making my background look like a landscape. I'm freezing out there. It's raining. You know what I mean? Come on in, Lydia.
There she is. There. Thank you for all that you do, Queen. Because behind the scenes, every show we got to give you your flowers because you make it. You get us going smoothly every time. So we really appreciate you for sure. Oh, you muted, Dennis.
We didn't, but Lydia, you happy that we didn't jump in on that 7:59 today? Like we were on a little early. Did we meet your expectations? Or you don't even want to talk?
You were stressing my sister out. Y'all was stressing my sister out.
Oh, you don't want to speak to us, Lydia? Okay, no problem. All right, no problem. Now you know what? Again, we were trying to get Ak on the IG live to get this thing started, but we'll do better next time, Lydia. We promise.
Absolutely. So, hey, again, everybody, and I want to echo what our visionary Easy Breezy always say: revolutionary leaders focus on the love. So make sure you focus on the love, and happy birthday to everybody. Stay revolutionary.
Salute.